today's show, we're going to show you how to save over an hour a day with an app that makes typing obsolete. You're never going to want to type again. I've got the world's leader with voice AI, Alan Go from Willow Voice with us today. Let's get to today's show. All right, on today's show, I'm with Alan Go, who is the founder of Willow Voice, who is pioneering a lot of voice AI use cases. And so, Alan, first of all, welcome to Marketing Against the Grain. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Kip. Yeah, thank you so much. I'm really excited to be on here.
Alan, one of the things that I think is interesting is when somebody decides to dedicate all of their waking moments to something, and you've decided to do this with voice AI. And so I was wondering if you could just help people understand why. Why is voice AI important, and how is it going to become just a part of how we all work and live on a day-to-day basis?
So my journey really all started when we were building in healthcare. And so we were pivoting a lot in healthcare, and every day we were interfacing a lot with doctors. They were telling us that they were spending all of their time working on documentation for the patients. So, they're spending their weekends, they're spending after clinic hours working on this documentation. So when AI Scribes came along, they said this was the best invention. They suddenly got all of their weekends back. They were looking forward to clinic days again rather than being worried about them, because they no longer had to spend all their time on this documentation. And when I saw this, it felt like the new way to work with voice. And also around this time, I was visiting some family in China. I noticed that everybody, they use this app called WeChat, and they love to send voice memos. And now if you know sending a voice memo, it's really effortless to send these voice memos, but really painfully long to listen to.
It stinks to get a voice memo if there's no transcription and you just get the raw voice file.
Exactly.
Brutal.
So it clicked to me that, voice is the fastest way to communicate thoughts to paper, but text is the fastest way to process information. And that's why if we could just find a way to combine the two, which is now possible with voice AI, and a speech could land as polished and ready to use text on your computer, then the keyboard itself could be unnecessary.
So I'm a Willow user. It's been a game changer in my workflow. I sent you a prep email for the show today just using Willow. It took me 30 seconds. It would have taken me 10 minutes before. Massive time saver. We'll get in. Josh is going to do some demos, going to talk through some of the use cases that you're going to want to think about adopting with Willow or any voice AI product for that matter. One of my theses here, Alan, that I would want to talk with you about is that that AI is going to make content formats obsolete. There are better formats for certain things than others. And what I'm positing is that in a year or two, we will just get the perfect format of information in whatever modality it needs to be: text, audio, video, whatever. And it seems like voice AI and dictation is going to be a big part of that. Do you buy that? Is that what's going to happen?
Yeah, 100%. And we're already seeing voice AI change so many modalities and just how people work in general. Because in the past, or historically, voice AI has never been something that has worked. If you think about tools as you're mentioning, Alexa or Siri, they've sucked because they were inaccurate, they've been clunky, they've been terrible interfaces. But of course, with AI that's made voice finally intelligent and context aware, we have infrastructure to support that at a low cost. We have and real time, and we have transcription actually just to be accurate in general. It's actually opened up a whole new playing field of use cases, and it's unlocked a whole new level of voice productivity for people in general. Let me show you a use case with email. This is what tons of busy professionals and tech leaders use every single day, and it's sort of the moment that makes it magical for many people. So for example, if I want to send out an email, I can just press a hotkey on my keyboard and just watch as I do this. Hi, John. I recently discovered a product called Willow, and I think it's super cool. There's so many different things it could do. One, it can automatically format my email. Two, it can automatically correct my words. Three, it even cuts out my filler words. I think it's super cool. Best, Alan. And you can see in a matter of seconds, it comes out. And there's a couple of things to note. It automatically formatted my greeting. It automatically formatted my signature. It even understands that I was trying to create a list. And it breaks that down in the perfect structure. Another cool thing to note is that it knows that I like to use an exclamation mark at the end of my emails. And it understood that I have that personal style choice, and it put that in.
Alan, it knew because you were in Gmail that you were doing an email and it needed to be formatted in this way. Is that right? I just want to make sure I'm understanding everybody watching.
Yes, so exactly. So, voice, it's context aware. So it's able to understand that if for an email, it should be styled like an email. If I were in Slack, for example, it'll understand my context and write it as if I were writing a Slack message, and it'll be that style.
That's super cool. This you must fly through email, man.
Exactly. And you know what? If this style didn't work for me, I could just highlight this text and I can say, "Hey Willow, can you make this a lot more casual?" And you can see now that it just changed what I wrote into a more casual language.
Which is way better than going in and just editing it. As a Willow user, I did not know I could do that. I'm going to do that in the future. That's very cool.
Yeah, and so a lot of people, for example, will go back into ChatGPT or Claude to maybe rewrite an email more formally or more
Yeah.
casually. It replaces a lot of that context switching between apps, and you can all do it all in one place with voice. And in fact, I can just generate the entire email myself. For example, if I wanted to say like, "Hey Willow, can you write an email to John in a pretty casual tone and tell him I'm going to be late for the meeting?" And you can see just like that, Willow can just generate that email for me and it understands my writing style already, so it can just do it.
That's awesome. AI agents are transforming marketing. They're changing it as we know it. And the old ways of marketing, they're gone. The new ways are really agent first ways. And Kieran just wrote this amazing blog post about how to think about marketing and do marketing in an agent first world, in a world where agents might be buying from agents or agents are facilitating ways people can buy. And there are these three very specific changes that he outlined. And that if you're in marketing today and you are not clear on what these changes are, you're missing the boat. You're going to get left behind, and we don't want that. We want to help you stay ahead of the pack. And so you want to read Kieran's post right now. You can scan the QR code or you can click the link in the description below. That is going to give you the blueprint you need to do marketing in an AI first world.
So I can speak a little bit more about how people are using it.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's like what you're trying to tell people is like, okay, the technology is actually finally here. I know you tried to do this stuff over the last 5 to 10 years, and it's been terrible. And I will tell you, as somebody who's been using it, it is actually finally here. Not only is it accurate, but man, is it lightning fast now. That's the thing that's blown me away. I was like, oh, I can see with these large language models that we can get to accuracy, but the raw speed is so impressive to me. Like, it's wild.
Yeah, and it's only going to get better over time as these things get to no late instant, near instant, if not near instant.
It already feels that way, by the way, for somebody who started using this more and more. So if the technology's here, now walk us through like, what are the core ways that people should be using it? Like, I want to talk about that. I want you to show us some demos. I want to just spend a few minutes helping people understand how they can transform how they're working.
So I'd say the biggest use case that I've seen has been async work communication. So we've seen people handle all of their work communication. That's Slack, email, personal messaging, all of those things that they typically in the past have to sit down, type on their keyboard, write out that message. They now just speak to a voice AI, like a dictation tool like Willow, and they speak out all their thoughts, and that AI transcribes what they say, it formats it, it understands the direction that they're trying to go, the tone, the style, everything, and it writes it out instantly for them in front of them. Tech leaders, for example, who have tons of work communication, or busy professionals in general who have tons of communication to be doing. Because voice is so much more natural and fluid, and obviously it's faster than you would be typing, and it just saves them so much time. The second big use case that I've seen is with AI prompting. Now, I know that you show a lot of workflows and prototypes built by AI tools like ChatGPT or Claude. So I think this is a really neat productivity or life hack tip for the audience. Next time when you're prompting AI, don't even just type it, just use a dictation tool.
Can you pull up Willow and just show us how that works? Because this is my primary use case. That's why I'm being selfish. But you are probably better at the me. Is like using the ChatGPT app and Willow to just get stuff to an LLM in the most efficient way has been life-changing for me.
So, for example, I can prompt Claude here, and this is already what engineers and power users are doing already. Because if you think about what prompting is, it's just putting a lot of, if you're trying to build an app, for example, you're explaining to a really smart friend like Claude what the technical specifics look like, what the UI, what the UX look like. And you're essentially just writing really long paragraphs to a smart friend like Claude to build it out for you. And obviously, would you rather be typing out those paragraphs to a smart friend, or would you be rather speaking that? So for example, I can just press the function key on my keyboard and just be like, hey, I want to build a really cool reminders app that allows me to put all the things that I need to be reminded of in my day-to-day. And whenever I finish one of my tasks, or whenever I'm reminded of an item, I want there to be like balloons and confetti showing everywhere. And I want the UI to be green looking with a green type of brand. Let's see how that turns out. And you can see in a matter of seconds.
It's so fast.
Exactly, yeah. What would have taken me longer to type, I can just speak that out. I can brainstorm and brain dump and put that all in my...
Yeah, before you even like run that, like what happens to me, and I think happens to a lot of people, Alan, is like we just kind of get sick of typing. It's like, yes, I have more instructions I want to give, but I'm just kind of like sick of it. And because of that, I'm just going to stop here. And I think what I've found, and I think what you found, is like when you're just talking, you can just sit there and talk for a minute or two and get much better details and prompt. And the hack here is do exactly what you just did and then have it turn it into the right prompt for you. So you can give it all the context, then it'll reformat it into a great prompt, and you can run through and you can get to that spec and like basic version of the app in like minutes.
Exactly. And I really like how you said that it removes the initial inertia of like creativity, because we've also seen a massive use case for content creators in general. So we all know that feeling when you're sitting in front of a blank doc and you're trying to come up with ideas, creative juices to write maybe website copy or social media posts or all different types of things. Typically you'd have that initial inertia of typing, but with voice AI, you can just simply speak what's on your mind. You can brainstorm out loud, and that AI will, clean it up, format it, rewrite it a bit better for you. And so we've seen tons of people write everything from like LinkedIn posts to website copy with voice AI, and they love using it to brainstorm.
There's a songwriter, Jason Isbell, who I love, and his like thing about creativity and writing is that you get it all out and then you edit it later, and you whittle it down once all the information's out. And most of us don't write like that, right? We're in our head, we write, we are editing in our head before we get it out, but we talk like that, right? And so it might sound strange, but just expressing the ideas in a different actual way can get you better ideas.
Exactly.
Okay, so what we want to do now is actually show you how quickly you can iterate through like a marketing idea, marketing concept. Alan, I know you and the team at Willow Voice just launched personalized dictations, where you can kind of personalize how the dictation style is going to be. Could you maybe just show us how you would go and make a product page for that feature using like Willow and Claude, and show how quickly you can iterate through like in this marketing use case?
Yeah, of course. So opening up Claude here, let's just see how fast we can be with this, right? I can just start dictating and say, hey, so pretend that you're like a really smart and big expert in writing website copy. I'm creating this new product page for our landing page that's going to be highlighting our personalization feature. For context, Willow is a voice dictation app that lets you write anywhere on your computer. You can think about it like an Apple built-in dictation, but smarter, faster, and more accurate and intelligent. And so some of the things I want to highlight on this page with that personalization, it allows the the dictation tool to match your style and tone and writing over time, so that you don't have to go back to your keyboard and have to make those edits. Let's see that with an initial prompt and see what Clarke can give us here.
So that was like literally like 1 minute, like less than a minute to get a pretty good creative direction. Like this is what you would tell like a marketer if you were hiring somebody to do it, right?
Yeah. So I see now that what is it creating?
It's creating an artifact around the page, it looks like right now. So what I do love about Claude is, and just a quick reminder for everybody, is Claude is really good at the writing and creative use cases. And I do think it does a great job of not just coming up with good quality, but also packaging it, these artifacts, in a way that's like easy to kind of review and understand. And also Claude loves to code, so it's writing a bunch of code and everything for us. Because what you said a landing page. You didn't even say landing page copy. So it's taking you at like, he needs like a whole landing page, not just some text, right?
Oh, there you go. And we got the landing page, and we got like the structure of it down.
It's even in your brand colors,
I
close or
didn't know
close,
that.
right?
Let's see.
Obviously, it's not the design fidelity is not great, but like we got essentially a like v.1 of a landing page in about 2 minutes.
Yeah. And, of course, maybe if I want to change different things, I can be like,
Yeah,
hey, so I actually want to add a couple more things to highlight on this product page. I want to emphasize that the product is private and secure so that people can use it without worrying. I actually also wonder how we can make this page a bit more modern and sleek. I think it doesn't look that great yet. Can you make some changes there?
what I love about that is that is like what every founder ever would say about something. Uh, it's like you're mastering founder feedback already. It's like super marketing critical. As somebody who's done marketing for founders, it's like it's a tough game. But now it just all goes to Claude, and it's great. And Alan, just so that everybody's clear, like the Willow Voice app is working in the background, but whatever app you're in, the text is also going there in addition to the Willow Voice app. I think for folks who may have never seen like a voice AI app, you have on your machine running a standalone app that's Willow Voice. And then if you are in Claude or you're in Slack or you're in iMessage, whatever you're actually working in, you're just holding down a function key and talking, and it's basically doing the translation in the or the dictation, in the Willow Voice app, but also putting the text in the pane that you're working in directly, right? Because that was like kind of counterintuitive for me at like the first few times I did it, is why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah, so exactly. Willow is an app that you install on your computer. So it's at the system level where it understands like your accessibility. It can paste text anywhere on your computer, and as a result, it works anywhere on your computer.
Okay, so we have you gave your creative direction on the landing page. I gotta say, it's a lot better.
It is a lot
V2 landing page was like way better.
Yeah, it's a lot. The first part's pretty sleek, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty sleek. It hit your security concerns and even decided to make like a creative choice to make them green and call them out, which I think is interesting. It's like the subliminal like green color tones.
And again, what really mattered to me in the beginning was just the website copy, which is great here.
Yeah, exactly. And so what's really cool is that you can get here quick with AI. Like, I myself and Kieran, we've done tons of shows on creating landing page and copy and everything with AI. We got here faster with voice AI though. We got here in like 5 minutes versus like 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes, which has been my experience previously, because you can just get through the iteration cycles faster. Because like what happens when I'm not using voice AI is I'm reviewing a page like this and I'm thinking about it, and then I'm thinking a little bit more about it, then I'm typing, and literally all you did was just provide the voiceover to your review in real time. And that allowed us to save a ton of time.
Yeah, it's just like how I'd speak to a really smart friend. It saves so much time to just speak to them with my words rather than having to type long paragraphs to them, telling them what I want to do.
Yeah, it's not like the 1800s where we're writing long letters to each other, right?
Exactly.
Okay, now let's look at the Willow app, because I want people to understand like what's actually happening, because I imagine most people watching the show today has probably never used any type of voice.
So you can see here I've dictated a lot of words, but
Yeah, you're almost at 100,000 words dictated. I'm nowhere close to you. I think I'm at like 5,000 or something.
yeah, and the thing is I also have multiple accounts. So I think my
Yeah, of
total
course.
is actually like closer to 500K.
I bet that's probably true.
But you can see here that the Willow app is actually made to be super simple and easy to navigate, because the thing is, with most dictation tools in the past, they've always been clunky and hard to use experiences that have been hard to navigate and hard to figure out how to use. I can remember Dragon Dictation specifically. It's like you have to watch hour-long tutorials to be able even to start using dictation. It's crazy. And they like sell these like DVDs or tutorials on how to use it. So with Willow, we've really tried to change that experience to be really simple and easy to understand from the beginning. We've really like radicalized radical simplicity when building the product in itself. So again, you see here, there's only really 3 sections you have to care about: the home section, the dictionary section for adding specific niche terms that Willow might not be spelling correctly, And then, of course, the personalization page that gathers your insights to eventually use them when you're, for example, writing in Superhuman, you're writing email. Willow now knows to add a period to separate ideas rather than M dashes because it knows I don't like to really use M dashes, or knows how to spell a specific name correctly. These are insights that it gains just by me dictating and me making those edits to my keyboard. If I don't like it, it learns over time so that it doesn't make that mistake again. But you can see here it's really easy to navigate where the user doesn't really have to customize much. They don't have to customize prompts to make it write better. They don't have to go in their settings and change different models or anything. It's just the most premium and simple to use product right now to be able to create that magical experience of dictation and write anywhere on your computer.
And if you go back to home, because I didn't want this to like go past people, all of the stuff we've done on today's show, for example, that went directly into Claude, which is some of the use cases we've been seeing, it's also here in this app, right? And so what's happening is everything's always going to be in Willow Voice, but whatever other app you're working in while you're holding that function key and dictating it, it's going to auto put the text there instead of you having to copy and paste every time, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Which I did not understand the first couple of times. I found that I was like, wait, it could do this? That's magical.
Yeah, it saves the transcripts locally in the computer. So, if you're ever dictating something and you lose it, for example, you can always go back to your history and copy and paste it, put it right back. You can also retranscribe it or look back at it for history anyways.
That's pretty cool. I mean, I would also say like you could actually keep an amazing personal diary just summarizing your day 1 minute every day and just like having it auto save into like a Google Doc or anywhere like would be incredible. If you think about some other use cases, I'll give you some other use cases I've had. It's like if you're a marketer and you're looking to build, like, what do marketers have to do a lot? They got to do presentations a lot. You can actually just record your rough draft of your talk track and then use that to basically generate slides with an AI slide builder like GenSpark or Gamma, or to create an outline. And like, that would have just been impossible before. You would have done a Zoom recording, you would have gotten the recording, you would have done the transcript, you would have then put that into Chat GPT and said make an outline. And instead you can just do that way faster, which is really cool. Alan, talk to me about note takers, Chat GPT recording. There's a lot of voice stuff out there. Like, what's best for what? When do you use a dictation thing like Willow or one of the others that are out there versus like Chat GPT recording or a note taker, that type of thing?
Yeah. So I'd bucket ChatGPT's record feature into the same category as like an Apple built-in dictation or something like that, where they focus more heavily on transcribing that text rather than understanding what you're trying to say. And that's the key part, which makes Willow so great. It's because it has this extra AI piece that interprets what you say. So if you really want to be able to use voice to unlock productivity in so many different use cases, like your email or Slack messaging or prompting AI or speaking or just communicating or writing things, you really want that AI to be able to understand how you style your text, how you format things, how you write your text in the direction where you're trying to go. And that's where Willow really shines. And even for a use case like AI prompting, where the style or formatting doesn't really matter, Willow's still better because just because of the pure speed. I mean, it's 3 times faster than built-in dictation tools or ChatGPT record feature. And of course, having it on your keyboard as a hotkey and that speed combined with it, it really keeps you in that flow state when you're trying to come up with new ideas or even prompting an AI tool.
Yeah, I agree. I think, and note takers are much more like group conversation stuff. Is that how you think about them? That if you're going to have a big meeting or you're in person with multiple people, then you need like a note taker kind of AI application versus voice dictation, because you got a lot of voices. What matters then is the context of the conversation and who is who and who's saying what, right?
Yeah. And yeah, I'd separate like a note taker like Granola versus a dictation tool, because a note taker, it sort of listens and transcribes what you say, and then after the end of the meeting, it turns out a summary. Whereas dictation tool, it's more like real time. It does like the use cases where you'd be maybe writing an email or sending a Slack message that requires faster latency and formatting and understanding how you're writing.
What I have found with AI tools in general is that the more focused they are, the better they are.
Yeah. So if you just looked at my dashboard, it says that my words per minute when using dictation is 180, and most people are actually way faster. I think on average, when people are using dictation, it's 180 plus 200 words per minute, right, and more. And I imagine it's a lot faster when you're prompting AI and you have a lot of ideas in your head. Maybe you're an engineer brainstorming and brain dumping. So when you compare that to the average typing speed of people in the world, it's 40 words per minute. So that's literally a 4 to 5 times increase in speed and productivity and time saved just by using dictation rather than having to type things out.
Yeah. So if you are somebody who does a lot of email, Slack, messaging, writing, like it's going to save you like an hour plus a day,
Yeah,
right? Just
100%.
the raw math of that backs into that. We talk a lot about AI productivity, but it's like kind of hidden productivity. Like this is actually real productivity because you can actually measure it because it's just making the stuff you already have to do in your day-to-day job much, much faster, which may seem a little less flashy to some people, but is actually just way more important.
Yeah. And not only does it save time, it makes you feel better doing your job as well. Because imagine going through 100 emails where you can just speak through them rather than having to type all of those out. So there's not only this actual time saved, but it actually just makes you feel better and your mood better as well.
Yes, like the whole aspect of doing it is better.
Yeah.
You know, like I almost make it akin of like when you're driving, you're singing along with a song, like you just feel better because it's like I'm communicating, I'm getting some stuff out there. It's like a little bit better as somebody who's been using it. The thing that surprised me, it's like, oh, it's kind of nice to just not sit by myself, quiet, not saying a word for an hour at this desk, and instead like feel at least like I'm almost talking to the person I'm sending a Slack to or an email to or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we went through some of the big use cases. We're going to save a bunch of time. You can use it to get ideas into LLMs, to review marketing materials with LLMs much faster, to do kind of any of the async messaging you do, email, Slack, those types of things. Any other advice for folks when it comes to voice AI? Any times they should not use it? Like, what would be kind of your closing advice here?
Right now, I say voice AI, it works better for very repetitive workflows like, messaging, email, prompting AI. In the past, I would say that it doesn't work as well for things like personal messaging because there's so much more style needed. But we just, obviously released a new personalization feature that actually makes that better. So you can
It is a lot better now.
so you can like text if you can text message and things and still sound like if you don't use periods or different types of formatting in text messages. You know, I actually really just want to say that voice AI can replace everything on your entire keyboard and your entire typing workflow, and that's sort of the vision that we're headed towards.
Which is wild to think about. Like, how much less do you think you type now? Like, now that Willow is like a real product and you use it, like, are you typing like 100% less, 50% less, 20% less? Like, what do you think? What do you think you're at?
I'd say I'm typing 90% less, and I think the
Wow.
reason.
Okay.
So actually, still right now, us the Willow founders, us too, we still handle all of our customer support customer support cases, and we get 50 emails every single day with different questions or maybe they have a problem. And I'd say the biggest life hack for us has just been using our own product, Willow, to be responding to those emails. And we're able to do that so quickly and still do it ourselves and still have time because we're using dictation.
Okay. That is, as somebody who doesn't love typing, I'm going to keep getting more and more. I have found the cultural change of getting used to dictation is real. It has taken me a while to like adopt and really get in the habit of it. And I know there's probably some hesitancy out there on terms of like, is this technology actually ready? I think we've shown today that it is, and I will tell you in my uses, at least with Willow, and I know there's Whisper, there's a bunch of other products out there too that people are using. It's like they generally have gotten good, right? And I think to your point, the biggest challenges in that is understanding the very personal context that you might have with one person versus a different person, right? And I think you have gotten down that path with personalization, and that'll it seems like keep getting better and better as you roll out. What's kind of the last topic here is like what's next? Like what are the things that need to happen for dictation voice AI to really be amazing, be mainstream, you think?
Mhm. So when we're just thinking about the technology itself, it's obviously going to get better. AI is going to get better, and that's going to allow for infrastructure that's going to support instant, if not near instant latency. We're going to see bigger context windows that's going to allow for, voice AI tools to have deeper integration into your apps and workflows to be able to better understand you and better interface with your entire life. And obviously, that's the direction where Willow is headed towards as well. But I think the most exciting part for us as a team is just thinking about the user experience layer of voice as a dominant interface in the future. Because when you think about every new, change in human-computer interface, whether that's the mouse and the keyboard, and then it was touch, every single change has opened up a whole new design language for how we use computers. When you think about touch, we had like scroll gestures, we had pinch in, pinch out to zoom in, zoom out. We have even these like 3-line hamburger menu items. None of these existed before, and it wouldn't have made sense at all, even for a mouse and keyboard, right? So when we think about voice as the next primary interface, we think about what could that entire user experience be, and it's going to be entirely new. I mean, a couple questions which we have in our head are like, are abbreviations going to exist when you type those out to people? When it's just as easy just to say that? Are emojis going to exist when voice AI is going to be so good that it interprets your tone and what you're trying to say before you even sort of send that out, right? So, and what is the output of that going to look like when you can actually understand the tone of what you're saying? And so we think about all these different things that are going to change as voice becomes a dominant interface. It's going to be a completely new user experience, and we're just excited for the future, to be honest.
Yeah, and so if I'm a marketer out there, or I'm a founder and I'm listening to this, it's like, oh, I can save some time with voice AI. That's my immediate here and now, right? I think what we're saying is in the future, the modality of how people communicate is going to change significantly, and the user experience around that's going to change significantly. I think especially, like, if you think about it, since the dawn of websites, they've just been text on hands on keyboards, right? Like, we don't really talk to websites. We will start talking to websites, right?
Yeah.
And you're seeing that start to happen a little with a few of the AI sites, but I think in a couple of years, that's just going to be commonplace. There will be some use cases of the web browsing experience that will be voice-led versus, hand-led or typing or clicking, right? And that's pretty wild. And so I think if you're a marketer, you're a business owner, you want to keep an eye out for the trends and the evolutions of user experience that's going to happen as this and the other AI technologies get better and kind of shift that user experience. I think that's the right call out to make for everybody.
And exactly, because typing was honestly just, a temporary solution for humans to be able to interact with their computers. But as we think about, the development of AI and these speech systems, we're going towards a direction where a computer will have the same fluency, a human fluency, and understand it just as you would be when you're talking to another person. So when you think about that, it's going to completely change sort of the interface of computing as a whole.
It's mind-blowing to think about. I suspect that this is the first of many shows we'll have over the next year or two on the topic of voice. And Alan, I really appreciate you coming on, giving all of our viewers a breakdown of what the heck it is, some things they can do now, and some things to look out for in the future. Thank you so much today for joining us on Marketing Against the Grain.
Thanks so much, Kip.
Awesome. We'll see everybody real soon on our next episode.
This data is wrong every freaking time.
Have you heard of HubSpot? HubSpot is a CRM platform where everything is fully integrated.
Whoa, I can see the client's whole history, calls, support tickets, emails, and here's a task from 3 days ago I totally missed.
HubSpot. Grow better.